Hello and welcome to another episode of Trading After Midnight. It's been a crazy week. Sorry I haven't updated everyone, but have made a lot of changes to the portfolio, closed out a lot of things, as I think we will be changing a lot where the market is going next week. Just thought I would show everyone the profits that I've made for the month. Been a pretty good month. Made $7,500 approximately so far in the first 2 weeks. Can't complain about that. And closed out a couple of positions early that would have made me a lot more, including BlackRock here that ended up shooting up a lot of like 10-12% if I just held it a couple more days. But it is what it is. I did make that video on GDX that did pop up like 4% right after the CPI, but I did kind of see the writing of the wall, the way it reacted to the CPI, and I'm glad I did cut it for a slight gain and ended up not taking a big loss, as we saw how it reacted the rest of the week. But I didn't take a big loss on that. Depending if this channel goes, then I would be able to make more updates for everyone to avoid people taking big losses on some of my suggestions, or keep everyone more apprised of what I'm doing with these trades. But I'm getting 10 views, 5 subscribers, so I don't have that much incentive to give updates on every single thing that I am doing right now. So more comments out there, more participation, and I know people are more interested in what I'm doing, then I may keep everyone, put more effort into things, give more keep more updates, make sure keep everyone aware so people don't lose money on some of my tips, because I could have taken 4% or whatever. Honestly, I was just going to take that 4% on that as like a day trade, but it was kind of in the back of my mind that I made a little video on it. So but I have such little viewers, so I don't even want to keep that in my mind. But I would like to grow this channel. But anyway, you get kind of my point. But anyway, so let's get back into the portfolio here that I made a lot of changes. I did short semiconductors twice. I'll pull up my chart. Excuse my sons in the background. So you could see I did make a lot of money shorting these. So I did short from like the first video I have, basically right up to this level up here. Then I shorted it, I believe, to the level, I don't remember exactly where I shorted it, but anyway, I went long at 5. So yeah, I made over 2K shorting it. But anyway, I shorted it once, then covered, and then shorted it again, and then I'm going long here at 525, I believe, on that, and I believe it's going to bounce to 550. I'll explain why. But I am also long Qualcomm, and I made that video on Rigetti. I'm still long Rigetti, even though it's way down, but I will show you the chart there in a little while. But let's take a look at the Qualcomm charts that I really like here. So, yeah, Qualcomm has this fantastic trend line here that I just tagged, and the 200 moving average that it bounced right off of. My target is about 185 here. So, yeah, it could easily hit this, on Monday or Tuesday next week. So it could be a pretty fast 10% gain on Qualcomm. I was, and I believe this will do a quick bounce to 550. Honestly, as you can see that it had a fantastic bottoming tail. So I believe I will probably just take 550 and run if it gets to, and let Qualcomm run a little bit, and Rigetti down here there's this second trend line, as you can see, that goes even farther back, all the way back here above this other trend line. So now we have two trend lines up here. So, and it bounced right off this one. So this should definitely be the bottom on Rigetti. So, yeah, I really like the chart at this point. And Rigetti honestly does have good fundamentals behind it as well. People think it's just like a trash company, but it really isn't a trash company. So this should be the bottom of it, especially if we get some semiconductor bounce. So yeah, I sold my Dollar General for like 11% profit. So that was a fantastic trade. Yeah, I did end up hopping back in Adobe, basically right where I got out. Everyone, I know I was talking in comments and stuff, and but everyone, it's just, such a fantastic chart. I did hop in back into it, and I'm up 5% more from where I got, and I think I'll hold that till 250. It's just such a great chart. And Meta, I have been in and out of that one. I've been day trading this one essentially so many times. I basically got in that at like 563, but I've traded this one in and out. It's been so volatile. I've been trading in and out that one. I've made a lot, as you saw. I made like almost 3K on that in the last 2 weeks or something. So I'll probably hold that until earnings. I'm not going to hold that through earnings for sure. I did hop into SoFi also, kind of as a play off of the bounce on semiconductors. It kind of does go along with semiconductors. I think we're kind of risk on. So we did have a great bounce today. I didn't honestly look at the chart at the end of the day today, but we just closed inside of this channel, as you can see. So perfect. This is a great upsloping channel right here, and we just closed inside of it, just saved it. So yeah, I'll probably close this out at halfway through the channel and reevaluate if it gets there. And Dollar Tree, don't like seeing this topping tail. I had a pretty bad day. It was down a lot, but closed out to my other retail now that we're going back into risk on. So I'm kind of doing a transition between risk on, risk off. So now that I expect semiconductors to be bouncing the next couple of days and grow this channel, hope you like this content. And let's have another fantastic trading week. Let's hope you know, that semiconductors don't tank next week. Let's hope my thesis comes up. And before we go, let's talk a little bit more about this, the semiconductor chart here, about why I think it's bouncing off of 525. I guess it can be a little bit more. So you can see these pivot levels here on the chart. So yeah, so here's each of the pivot levels. So each of the pivot levels on the chart are are the main support levels for the most part. So we can do some technical analysis. So each of these pivot levels are somewhat support levels. Now, once it breaks down on the chart, so anyone who's there will get a valuable lesson. So once the chart breaks down here, and then it retests, so it broke down here, and once it confirms below this trend line, this is a long-term trend line, so it broke down. So now the chart has officially broken down this long-term trend line. We're in a downtrend. So now that we're in a downtrend, like I made on my first video, we know that if it comes up, this is major resistance. So now that we're technically in a downtrend, and the first time that we made a lower low, so we went down here, we came up, we went down, now we made a lower low. See, this is the top, and when we came up, now we made a lower low. That's extremely bearish. So now we went down, so now any bounce is going to be a lower low. So that's why on this bounce that I'm expecting to have below this bounce next time. So I bought this bounce, but I'm expecting this bounce to be lower than the other bounce. And this is this pivot level here, but it's not going to get up all the way to this pivot level. So I expect it to be a lower high this next time. So that's why I expect it to bounce to 550, which goes to these support levels also. So I hope that makes sense for everybody. So every time it's going to be a lower high as long as we are on a downtrend. So once to get into an uptrend, obviously if we break this trend line, that's huge bullish, or make a higher high. Anytime we make a higher high on one of these, that will be somewhat bullish of an uptrend. So if we do make a higher high than the downtrend, that will be the start of a somewhat of an uptrend. It's not super bullish, but you know, that's something to start looking at. But anyway, I doubt anyone is actually watching at this point, but thought I would give some technical analysis if anyone made it to the end of this video. Well, thanks again. Have a good day.